Welcome back, I am the Watch King. On this video, we're talking about the Grails, the top of the top. These watches are the best watches in the world being made as of today. And we're going to talk about, would you rather have one of these watches or something like 3 new Rolexes or 5 Omegas instead of having one of these top Grail watches? We're going to discuss the pros and cons, and I would love to know your opinion. Now, I'm going to use in this scenario a 5711, or excuse me, 5712. That's the one I like personally, but it could go for a 5711, could go for anything, right? Could go for FP Journe, one of their top models, or any of their models. They're all top, right? They're all very high end. Any Patek, it doesn't have to be a Nautilus. It could be Aquanaut, it could be Calatrava. It doesn't have to be sports model, nothing like that. It just has to be this super high end watch, right? Or would you rather have, in my scenario, let's say a Rolex Sub, a Rolex GMT, and a Rolex Daytona, right? Would you rather have those 3 or something high on? And if you wanted to do an Omega comparison, you could do Speedmaster, Seamaster, Railmaster, all these. You could get a huge different lines like DeVille and a ton of watches you could buy, right? Especially in that price point of the Rolex Omega range, instead of getting one of these top models. I mean, I personally went to Patek just to see what the story is with the 5712, right? Because I love that watch, all the complications, the moon phase, there's everything with it, power reserve, just everything. And I'm not a big power reserve guy, but in that watch, it's just fantastic. So I went there and it's $51,000 exactly is retail. Now, of course, there's sales tax depending on where you live. So for $50,100, you can get a lot of watches, right? That is a lot of money. You can get a Porsche for that type of money, right? Like in the car world, right? So $51,000 is a lot of money for a watch. So what would you personally do? Now, I think I go back and forth on this scenario. Myself personally, I go, it is truly amazing to have something of that high horology, right? But at the same time, right, you get to have all these different experiences with different watches, right? With Rolex, you get to have the option. I mean, granted, Rolex, they're all very similar looking, right? The GMT is very similar to the Sub. I mean, the bezel's different and it has a different color. But you know what I mean, right? So what would you choose? Would you choose something like a Patek Nautilus FP Journe, right? And have that as like basically a one watch collection, maybe something on the affordable end with that? Or would you rather have a multitude of watches that are still very high end, right? Rolex Omega is very high end. What about Panerai would be in that category? I mean, they're a little bit less. IWC, you could buy a ton of these type of watches. Cartier is also in there. Before you buy one of these Pateks, one of these Vacherons. Vacheron, depending on the piece, and then you have AP, of course, which is very expensive. So what would you rather do? Famously, a watchmaker said he created the phrase in Switzerland, don't put all your eggs in one basket, meaning don't put all your money into one watch. I mean, it all depends on who you are and what it's about. Personally, I don't know. It's a hard decision. And also at the same time with the Nautilus, right? 51,000 for the 5712 that I was looking at, you still can't even get the watch. It's not even available, right? So they want, the gray market wants 100K, right? Which I would never do. And I don't recommend anybody paying over retail for anything, right? If you're going to pay over something, buy something rare like the piece on my wrist, right? So this is a oyster quartz, not an oyster quartz, excuse me, a Datejust in a factory oyster quartz case. This is a 1630 Rare Bird. You like vintage watches, those are worth, in my opinion, buying. And if you want to get an amazing vintage watch, go check out the description below. There is a fantastic website, my website. You will see some incredible pieces there, always being refreshed, new pieces coming in. So definitely check it out. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, this is more of just fishing for your comments. I just want to see that's why it's so short. What would you choose? I would love to know. So I want to thank you all, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.